Yawan High-Speed Railway. Can Chinese companies make money? When we talk about Vietnam's high-speed rail, Malaysia's high-speed rail, when it comes to the Pan-Asian high-speed railway, there is a viewpoint that suggests, building high-speed trains in these places, we provide both technology and money. Why bother around? Today, let's take the Yawan High-Speed Railway as an example. Analyze it. China's high-speed rail route. You get out. Is it losing money to make a fuss or gaining both fame and fortune? Let's first analyze this part of our Chinese enterprise. Firstly, regarding the loan portion. The total cost of the Yawan high-speed railway is $7.5 billion. Our bank provides 75% of the loan, approximately $4.5 billion. This loan has a term of 40 years. The interest is 2, adopting fixed loan interest rates. In this way, there is an annual interest of approximately 90 million. The total interest for 40 years is $3.6 billion. The second part is equity returns. The Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway is a consortium of Chinese and Indonesian enterprises, adopting joint ventures. The model of cooperative construction and operation, Chinese enterprises hold at least 40% or more of the equity. This part, the next issue will be combined. Can this joint venture make money to introduce? Let's go back to the construction part of the Yawan high-speed railway. The Yawan high-speed railway, which cost $7.5 billion to build, where did all the money go? There is a viewpoint that more than 60% of the investment funds have returned to Chinese companies. Not much. We will list a few specific items. Firstly, the construction of high-speed rail lines and stations. Design costs. Compared to Chinese design companies that have already built tens of thousands of kilometers of high-speed rail, this money is relatively easy to earn. Although the construction of the Yawan high-speed railway line and stations driven 50,000 local people in Indonesia to engage in the high-speed rail industry, but training these 50,000 people, all are Chinese personnel, large-scale mechanical equipment for the construction of high-speed railway lines and stations. Basically, it belongs to Chinese enterprises, the entire 142.3 kilometers. The 38,000-ton railway tracks laid are from Panzahua, the first batch of 11 Fuxing trains. The unit price will not be lower than RMB 170 million. In short, the entire system of the Yawan high-speed railway, all come from Chinese companies. This is what happened back then. Why do Japanese companies issue interest rates of 1,000? He sells design, selling equipment, selling software, selling patents, selling training. His income is much higher than the interest earned. Now, our Chinese company has built the Yawan high-speed railway. We can indeed sell designs, selling equipment, selling software, selling patents, selling training. You can earn money, even if we jointly build a high-speed rail manufacturing factory with Indonesia in the future. There's nothing to worry about in this mode, since China's reform and opening up in the 1980s, from the perspective of the automotive industry, a world-renowned automotive brand, they all joined forces with us to build factories. Our automotive industry has undergone earth-shattering changes, and these world-renowned car brands, as long as you sincerely cooperate with us, everyone earns a lot of money. How many brands are cooperating with us? The money earned is over 100 billion yuan. Our high-speed rail is also like this. We have to go out, only then will there be broader prospects. After the completion of the Yawan high-speed railway, now Indonesia National Railways is going to buy China's regular speed trains, used for Jakarta Commuter Railway. This is a very meaningful breakthrough. The railways of Southeast Asian countries have always had a unique feature. They can see various used cars that have been phased out by Japan. Indonesia is also, you can see various models of used cars from Japan in Jakarta. The reasons for this phenomenon: one reason is that Southeast Asia is traditionally pro-Japanese. The second reason is that the railway gauge in Southeast Asia is either 1000 or 1067. The 1067 cars eliminated by Japan can be directly changed to 1000 bogies. Recently, Japan phased out a large number of internal combustion vehicles. These cars have all been sold to Southeast Asia. The Vietnamese railway almost received a batch of second-hand Japanese cars. The result was stuck in the domestic law prohibiting the import of foreign garbage, and then a magical thing happened. A bunch of Vietnamese netizens are very sorry. It is widely claimed that Japanese foreign garbage trucks are better than Vietnam's current junk cars. Due to Southeast Asia's pro-Japanese sentiment, Southeast Asia has always been Japan's garbage dump. Japan is just casually aiding a pile of garbage in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia still needs to be grateful. Coming out of the Vientiane station on the Laos-China Railway, the bus to the center of Vientiane is a second-hand car provided by Japan. The car is painted with a maru of the sun. The feeling of Laotians is that what China has given us are brand new trains. The Japanese give this kind of second-hand junk. China has directly leveraged the traditional pro-Japanese market in Southeast Asia. Make Japan. Thai railways have started purchasing Chinese-made trains. This is actually quite shocking for Japan. Japan responds to this kind of impact from China. Actually, it's quite passive. There is almost no other way but to lower the price. During the Abenomics period, in order to dominate China in Southeast Asia, the Japanese directly lowered the interest rate to 0.001, almost for free. In the classic book, India is a high-speed railway in Japan, in order to preserve Southeast Asia. The Japanese, even curling oneself up to death. China will not compete with Japan in this situation anyway. If the Japanese are really capable, it's also beneficial for Southeast Asian friends, but Japanese people don't miss playing the kind of subway in Ho Chi Minh City where they say they've spent all their money halfway through. The Putian-style behavior of asking the Vietnamese to add money, and Chinese construction companies may even advance money when the money is not enough, because the issue of money can be gradually resolved. But if a project is suspended, it is easy to end up unfinished. The 117 building is about to be completed. It was sealed by the court before it was completed. Otherwise, the construction unit will definitely advance the money to build it. Later, Abe was destroyed. Kishida is starting to shrink overseas. He can't afford to play anymore. Originally, Japan wanted to crush China in Indonesia, another project. The Jakarta-Surabaya medium-speed railway was taken over at a discounted price. Indonesia used to be determined that the Japanese would roll themselves up to death. Only then did they give high-speed rail to China, forcing Japanese to lower prices on China railway projects. Later, Japan directly stated that they couldn't afford to exited the China railway project. That's why Indonesia changed to high-speed rail extending eastward to Surabaya. Chiang Mai high-speed rail in Thailand, Vietnam high-speed rail, even the Texas high-speed rail in the United States. Originally, Japan also wanted to deliver. As a result, none of them can afford to play anymore. This comes and goes. China has truly achieved complete victory over Japan in Southeast Asia, so much so that Southeast Asian friends have now begun to consider China in the traditional market. Southeast Asian friends have discovered that Chinese people are better able to design and manufacture products that meet the local needs of Southeast Asia. Instead of Japanese people throwing garbage, for example, the Indonesian Kai train, Indonesia's requirement is to use stainless steel body, because Indonesia is rich in nickel. This has led to a high position of the stainless steel industry in Indonesia. In order to develop national industry, Indonesia needs to introduce local production of stainless steel trains. digest stainless steel production capacity, and Kirk accepts the conditions for transferring stainless steel train technology, meets the needs of Indonesia. Chinese people will cooperate with local ethnic industries when conducting projects overseas, even if they will seize their own market in the future. After all, the locals have made money. There will only be more business to do in the future. The Wanya high-speed railway in China and Indonesia. China has paid in full, a total of $5.5 billion. China is responsible for actual construction and personnel training. Among them, $3 billion were lent to Indonesia. The Indonesian government has no guarantee. China and Indonesia operate together. We bear 100% of the risk here. I only receive 40% of my income. You can hit this board with your head up. He is indeed very courageous. However, if the Indonesian government wants to play tricks later on, take back the operational rights. We really don't have any way out. As we age, the more I realize, in this world, only the Chinese government is really talking about credibility. However, speaking of which, the Chinese landscape must be higher. The real purpose of China is not to make money with this Yawan railway, to put it 10,000 steps back. Losing everything and giving it to Indonesia is a small matter, as long as the construction standards are in line with China's high-speed rail standards. The goal has been achieved. Do you all know, of course, it's not just about not making a profit and shouting. It is said that the tracks of Indonesia's high-speed rail are all transported from Sichuan. Even if all the technology is given to Indonesia, in the future, they want to build high-speed trains themselves. I guess we still need to buy raw materials from China. It's like buying a car. The car dealership is willing to allow you to pick up the car in installments without a down payment. Aren't you afraid that you won't pay back and confiscate his car? They are not afraid, because of the subsequent maintenance of your car, repair, all the accessories need to be made at his place. I really can't go to another house. Moreover, the Indonesian high-speed rail that runs every day incurs constant advertising costs. Although the advertising fee of 5.5 billion yuan is considerable, but the pattern has been opened up. Strike those people in the face with practical actions. Over 100 kilometers of high-speed rail. To put it bluntly, it's just an experiential outfit. Give Indonesia a try, feel what high-speed rail speed is, promote and publicize with other countries, that's all. 100 kilometers has been built. It feels comfortable to use now. If you want to add another clock, you'll have to pay for real gold and silver. Changing people is not enough. Say something unpleasant, the depreciation of US dollars used to buy US bonds. It's better to build more prototype projects like this. We are currently exporting Chinese standards and promoting Chinese technology to the outside world. Let third world countries and people gradually develop self-reliance and self-improvement. At the same time, it gradually freed itself from the negative influence and inherent advanced image of Western powers. Remember the two slogans on the top of Tiananmen Square: "Long live the People's Republic of China, long live the great unity of the people of the world." These two sentences don't seem to be fun to write now. The Yawan Railway project, as an investment, it is also export according to the agreement signed between the two countries in 2017. The project company established by both China and India is called KISIC, responsible for project construction management, operation and maintenance, commercial development. The Chinese side holds 40% of the shares, the Indonesian side holds a 60% stake. China Railway International Co., Limited, China Railway Engineering Corporation. China Hydropower Construction Group International Engineering Co., Limited, Kirk Qingdao Sifang Locomotive and Rolling Stock Co., Limited, Beijing Yawan High-Speed Railway Co., Ltd. was established as a Chinese investment platform company through the investment of International Holdings Limited, Wika State-Owned Engineering Construction Co., Ltd. in Indonesia, the 8th Plantation, China Railway Corporation. The highway company invested in the establishment of the Indonesian investment platform SPY as an investment platform for the Indonesian side. In 2017, the estimated investment for the project is $6.07 billion. 25 of the investment amount is used as the project capital. The registered capital of KISIC is $1.52 billion. The Chinese side contributes 40% of the capital, approximately $607 million. Invest in cash. Indonesia invests an additional 60% in cash and physical assets, the remaining $4.55 billion in funding required for the project. Credit support provided by the China Development Bank. In this mode, the Chinese side's outward investment amount is $607 million. The amount of Chinese equipment purchased for the project, that is, China's export volume, not less than the loan amount $4.55 billion. At the beginning of 2023, the recalculated investment amount of the Yawan high-speed railway project has increased to $7.36 billion. According to the financing model of 2017, the Chinese platform has increased the project capital to 763 million yuan. The loan amount has increased to $5.52 billion. The calculation formula is as follows. The actual capital of the Chinese side is equal to the investment amount multiplied by 25% and then multiplied by 40%. The loan amount is equal to the investment amount minus the project capital. Conclusion: China's outward investment amount is $763 million. The export value of Chinese products is at least $5.52 billion. The credit portion does not count as external investment. How much interest does Indonesia need to pay? Loan amount: $5.52 billion. Loan term: 40 years. Annual interest rate: 2% if the principal is repaid equally. It will generate $2.263 billion in interest over 40 years, jointly undertaken by the joint venture company KISIC. KISIC company's Chinese side accounts for 40%, Indonesia accounts for 60%. The interest paid by Indonesia is $1.358 billion. This project, the actual investment from the Chinese side is $736 million. It's like catching a white wolf empty-handed. Interest income is almost twice the amount of capital contribution. Do you now know what a debt trap is? In fact, Indonesia has not built railways for over 100 years. The current railway has a maximum speed of only 60 kilometers per hour. So the Indonesian government also needs to dream of repairing a high-speed rail with a different gun. However, the competition for this project was quite intense at the beginning. This competitor is Japan. At that time, Japan wanted to win the Yawan high-speed railway project, offered very generous conditions, but the Indonesian government ultimately chose China's high-speed rail, because in Southeast Asia, China cannot give up any land. This direction is too important for China. So we are willing to transfer some technology at the cost of winning this project. Maybe some people feel like they're losing out. No, I won't. I'll talk later.